أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Rabbi zidni ilma, oh Lord, increase my knowledge. Welcome to today's class, and I hope you're doing well and you are ready to learn, and you've come with your pens and pencils and papers and notebooks. Please do check that you are labeled correctly and that you are displaying the correct ID, and especially your room number and ID. Please double check it. Teachers and students. So all those terrific teachers that joined on time, and all those super excellent students that joined on time. Thank you and Jazakumullah for being so punctual. May Allah bless you and reward you for all your efforts. I would ask you then to start writing down the important points on the screen and start memorizing them. If you know, read them 3 times at home every day for the whole week, and that way you will memorize them. Practice them when you read the Holy Quran. Make sure that you give your teacher your Quran reading practice, and make sure that you practice these sounds, these phonics, Arabic letters at home. Okay, so I'm going to ask one of the students to put their hand up to join me and to help me read out these points. So who have we got today? Right, I can see Anaya. Assalamu alaikum, Anaya.
Assalamu alaikum.
How are you, beta?
I'm okay, and how are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking. Would you be so kind enough to help me read out the quote at the top of the page?
Okay. The Holy Quran is our life, our soul, our spirit, and indeed our everything. Every Ahmadi, be they a child, young or old, be they a man or woman, should learn the Holy Quran.
Okay, that was read. Yes, please, go on.
Hadrat Khalifatul Masih RH report Majlis Shura 1965.
Okay, so that was read out very clearly and very nicely, mashallah. And I love your name, Anaya. Okay, so it's Hazrat Khalifatul Masih III, Rahmatullah. So that's our 3rd Khalifa who report, and this quote was taken off Majlis Shura. This is where all the big meetings going on and where everyone discusses things that are very important and current affairs and things like that. But don't worry too much about that. Would you be kind enough to also read out point number 1 for me?
Sure. Number 1, the second section of the tongue after the tip touches the junction with the upper teeth and gums. A raised tongue produces a thick and heavy sound.
And can you tell me how that sound is pronounced?
Do.
Do. Do. So everybody at home practice that. Do. And let's do the next one, please.
Okay. Number 2, the tongue comes out from the mouth slightly with vibration. Tongue is pressed against the edge of the upper front teeth. Air escapes. Thick sounding. Zo.
Yeah. Zo. Zo. Yeah. Zo. So everyone at home practice that. Do and zo. And you see, they're very similar. Do and zo. And we know that the do has a beauty spot. We can see that. Zo. Yeah. Thick sound. Yeah. But they're also thick sounds. So they're part of, we learned the other week about thick sounds. Yeah. So we can make a note about that. Okay. One more, please, Anaya.
Okay. Softly pronounced from the middle of the throat. A typical letter of Arabic. A letter of the throat. Ain.
Ain. Yes. And ain is from the middle of the throat. And we know it's one of the throaty, obviously it's a throaty letter. And so how would we pronounce it? Ain. Ain. And ain, remember, is not like alif and hamza. Alif and hamza sound differently, and ain sounds differently. Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for your participation. And it was lovely hearing your voice and letting us hear your sounds as well. So well done, and Jazakumullah. I will ask you to come and join me again someday. Okay, I'm going to ask another student to join me. Let's see. Okay, is that Humayun? Assalamu alaikum, Humayun.
Assalamualaikum.
How are you, beta?
Good, how are you? Excuse me.
Mhm.
My name is not Hamayul, it's Hamail.
Hamail, what a lovely name. Thank you for correcting me. I wasn't sure. So yes, Hamail, lovely name. So Jazakumullah for telling me and letting me know. Would you be kind enough to read point number 4 for me?
Okay, the furthest most part of the touches the opposite portion of the hard plate, blocking the passage of the throat. It is taking sound.
Okay, so right, the furthermost part of the tongue touches the opposite portion of the hard palate. So the tongue touches the opposite portion of the hard palate, blocking the passage of the throat. It is a test sound. Yeah, sounding. It is a thick sound, you know, thick sound. Can you tell us how it's pronounced?
Oh.
Oh, yes, that's lovely. Okay, Jazakumullah, thank you for joining us, Sumail. I'm going to ask another student to join me. Bushra, assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, Sam.
How are you, beta?
Good, alhamdulillah, how are you?
I'm good. Can you also read out number 4 for me again?
Okay. The furthermost part of the tongue touches the opposite portion of the hard palate, blocking the passage of the throat. It is thick sounding.
Yeah, and how would we say that?
Qaf.
Oh, yes, oh. And our lips are elevated. It's the thick sound as well. We have to remember that. Oh, yeah. And as compared to the other one, calf, like cake, you know, the other one might be like this, for example. So it might be like calf, like cake, yeah. And this one is different, yeah. Yeah. So we got the other one, which is my naughty pen. It's not working again. So calf, yeah. So that might be like cake or cat, and this one we cross, thick, heavy sound. One more, please, sweetheart. Number 5.
Originates from the bottom of the throat, unlike ein, which is from the middle, but it is also a letter of the throat, identical to alif.
Yes, and it's identical to alif, and the sound will be like apple. Well, ein is different. It's kind of a glottal. You know, it's not a thick sound, but it's a sharp, a diphthong kind of sound. It kind of dips. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Jazakumullah. That was lovely hearing your voice today and Humail's voice today. Thank you for joining us. Jazakumullah. So now we will prepare for tilawat, and I will ask you to, ensure that when you come to classes, yeah, it's important that when you come to classes that your head is covered, you're in full wuzu, and that you join on time. You prepare for class. Start doing your wuzu about 5:40. 5:40. Eat your lunch, your dinner, whatever you want to eat beforehand, and then do your wuzu, and use a laptop, an iPad or a laptop, not a phone, please, because these slides, they don't work on phones. So it's best to use a laptop. Best to use a big screen or a computer. iPad is fine as well. So you have to make sure that your hands, your nails, your teeth are cleaned. So you should be in full wuzu. Your head should be covered. You should have a notebook and a pen. You should ensure that you're sitting in a quiet place, so that if you are asked to unmute, that you don't disturb your fellow classmates. Because if there's a lot of background noise, nobody can hear you or the teacher. Whilst you're on mute, make sure that you're reading loud. Don't leave and go away. Take this time to learn and make notes and read out loud, even if you're on mute, yeah? Practice the sounds at home. Give your QRS details to your teacher every Thursday. That's the deadline. must hand in your QRS information. You should be reading 10 minutes every single evening, 10, 15 minutes, a whole page or more, you know, and practicing all these lovely sounds. I ensure that you read your student handout a few times in a day, you know, before you go to bed or in the morning. And it's coming up to 6 o'clock now. So Jazakumullah, and that's it from me. And I'll pass you on.
Jazakumullah, Mr. Shakil. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Can you hear my voice and see the traffic lights?
Yes, we can hear you and we can see the screen very clearly.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah.
Excellent. Actually, whoops, I've jumped the gun actually. Hang on. Let's check. We should start with the tilawat. Can you see the Islam? Can you see the tilawat there?
Yes.
Yes, now is that Hania?
Yeah.
How are you, Hania?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Are you ready to read Surah Baqarah?
What?
Are you ready to do Surah Baqarah today? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, excellent. Now, so everybody else, Hania is unmuted and reading, but all of you are going to do exactly the same as she's doing. You're going to be reading as well out loud, but we're going to be listening to Hania do it. Okay, Beta, you may begin.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون إن الذين كفروا سواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم.
Jazakumullah. Hania, you're going to come back and do the dua as well, yes?
Yes.
Excellent. And you will notice, Jazakumullah Beta, and you will notice that her ayn was different from the alif. She made a difference, and that's what we're going to do today. What I've highlighted for you, as you know now, are what we did last week. It's the mufakham, the tafkhim letters, the ones that are thick sounding. We call them mufakham. They are mufakham letters because they are tafkhim. They are thick sounded and rounded. So she wouldn't have said salat. She would have said salat. And we did this yesterday. We focused on 5 letters. Now, before I do anything else, I want to show you, can you see my ACL or Mr. Shakil, can you see the traffic lights in front of you?
Yes, we can.
Alhamdulillah, yes.
All right, excellent. Now, I want all of you to pay attention to this. Now, this is actually something that you don't get, your teachers get, to help your teachers to teach you. And it's just a reminder every week to the teachers what they have to listen out for when you're reading with them, because as you know, your teachers know all the rules, but you may not have learned all the rules at first. So we're only going to listen to the ones that are in green, right? So green means go. These rules should be applied in reading. What that means is, look at all of these rules, all the way up to 27, right? Now, most of them, I would say all of the ones up to number 12, these you would have learned for Nazirah level 1. So you would have come onto this course in September and you would have known all of these rules, okay? Or at least you would have been reading with these rules, okay? Nazirah level 1, okay? And then starting from number 13, we started to learn some more rules, okay? And actually it was just really one main rule, one sort of rule. It was all of these, okay? And these are the rules of Noon, Sakin, and Tanween, okay? If you could, let's have a look. Okay, so Noon, Sakin, and Tanween, right? Izhar, Idgham, Iqlab, Ikhfa. Do you remember? And we have to know those rules. So what that means, they're in green. They're in green because it means that you should know them now, okay? And then we did the rules of Waqf. We did these a couple of weeks ago. How does a word change at the end when we stop on it? Okay, we did that. And then last week we did tafkhim letters, the thick sounding letters. Remember? Kha, sa, da, ta, za, ghain, qaf. Okay, you should learn those by heart now. Okay, those 7 letters. We did those last week. Now this week, these are amber. These ones, we're doing these this week because amber means we have to practice them this week. We're learning them. It's a new rule. Yesterday we did 5 letters. That might have been new for us. The sound might have been new, and today we've got 5 more. But these are amber because it means that we are in the process of learning them. Like in traffic lights, you get red means stop, no, green means go, but amber kind of means get ready. So this week we're getting you ready with these similar sounding letters, so that after this week they'll be green. You can go, you can read confidently with them. Okay. And here you can see that we're revising again Surah Baqarah all 4 days. So that means that 4 times this week you're going to hear these verses and you're going to hear them. And this time you're going to look out for those rules. And in your breakout rooms, this is what you'll do with your teachers. So today you could do some more exercises. Okay, now on Thursday you've got a quiz, but in your practice rooms you're going to have 2 surahs that you can learn. So the idea is that you apply the rules as you go along. And remember, you've got these stop signs as well that you should know too. Now, have a look at this list. Have a look that we've now got, now this is the last rule that you're going to be learning before your midterm exams. You are in week 9 and your midterm exams are going to be at the end of week 10, at the end of next week, okay? The last weekend of the month, last weekend of November. And what we're going to do is next week, we will not teach you anything new. Okay, so have a look at all the new rules. It's the rules of Noon, Sakin, and Tanween here, rules of Waqf, and these letters, Tafkhim, Tarqiq, the similar sounding ones, okay? And then these stop signs. It's not that much because we've covered them in 10 weeks. It's not much in 10 weeks. And remember, you only learn new things 2 days a week. You've got 5 days to practice, okay? So let's not waste any more time during the weekdays and the weekends and the rest of the week. We should be reading the Quran as much as possible and applying the rules. Now, as we go into the following semester, okay, after the holidays, after midterm exams, we've got these rules: Lamul Jalala, Fikra, thick and thin ra. We've done the waqf signs actually. Mim Sakin rules, Qalqala, that's the bounce, Alif Zaida, Nun Saghira. Okay, so we've got several more rules, but I don't want you to even think about these rules until you know these ones. If you don't know these ones yet, and you go on to the next ones, it's going to be a bit confusing. Okay, so let's now, that's what we're going to be doing, and this is what we should already know, and let's go on to the mispronounced letters. Fa is not the same as sin. Ha is not the same as ha. Dhal is different from za. Sad is different from sin. Bod is different from za. Okay, so we did all of these 5 letters in red yesterday. Now we're going to go on to to, dha, ain, qaf, and hamza. Okay, so the idea is that this is not the same as ta. It's similar, but ta, this one, ta is thin, open-mouthed, and tha is a thick letter. That's one of the main differences. Okay, so I'll have a volunteer to first tell me how to read it, and then I'll let you. Now you're going to practice. You can teachers can do this with students. All of these lovely examples for practice in the breakout rooms. Okay, so teachers can do this with you, but we can do a couple of samples. Some people are not labeled. Can you look at your name in participants and rename yourself if you don't have your ID showing, please? Okay, some of you just got your names in there. We need your ID. Okay, I'm asking somebody to unmute.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Haris. Can you tell us how do we pronounce to?
Okay. It is a heavy and thick sounding letter in comparison with the letter the. The second part of the tongue, i.e. a little backward from t, touches the junction between the front upper teeth and the gums. Tongue is raised to make it thick and heavy.
Yeah, so I think, Jazakum, I think that actually let's have a go. Let's have some examples. So could you read this box and have a go at this box as well, please?
Okay. Qotte.
So let's make this one a little bit thick. Sorry, I tell you what. Sorry, repeat after. Sorry. Qotto,
Qotto.
qotte,
Qotte.
faqatta'a.
Qotte.
Good. Let's try this one. Atto, atta,
Etto. Ette.
attorfi.
Ottorofi.
Shabash, Jazakumullah. Thank you for your help, Haris. Jazakumullah. Okay, let's find another volunteer. So that was to. To is different from ta. Okay, now I'm asking somebody else to unmute. And we're going to go on to the next letter. If you've got your hand up, Assalamu alaikum. Is it Mehreen? Mahveen, sorry, I keep getting your name wrong, don't I? Sorry. Okay, now this is ra. Now, some people make it a Z sound and some people make it a TH sound, a little bit like thal. But whichever kind of, I've heard it both ways. I do a TH sound, va, but I make it thick. This is the point about this one. It's got to be thick and rounded. So instead of saying za or that, you say va, va. Some people say zo, like a Z sound, but I make it TH, va, va, va. So it's like, so it's like this one, for me, this is the way I pronounce it. It's like this one that we did yesterday, val, but it's thick and rounded. Allah, Allah, like this. Okay. All right, Mehveen, can you tell us how you pronounce va?
The tip of the tongue slightly comes out the mouth like so, but there's more vibration. The tongue is pressed against the edge of the upper front teeth. Slight air should escape. It is a thick sounding letter as compared to thin sounding letter zal.
Or we could try it. Fa and very good. And how about this word? Athahiru. Okay. And let's try this one. Hizin. Hizin. Fatha, sorry, fatha, I think I read it. Kasra. Hazin, sorry. Yes, hazin. Now, the reason I chose this one is sometimes a kasra is difficult with the thick letter. Okay, just drop your jaw. Hazin, hazin, hazin. One more time. Hazin. Are you there, Mehveen, better? No? Okay. You there?
I got muted.
Okay. This one, better try this word.
Hazin.
Hazin. Yeah, just drop your jaw. Excellent. Jazakumullah. Now, let's find somebody else to tell us about the next letter, which is Ain. Now, Ain is a bit unusual because it's from the middle of the throat. So we'll ask someone to tell us about that one.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hi, Islam. Adila, beta, can you tell us how do you pronounce Ain?
Okay, this is softly pronounced from the middle of the throat and is one of the typical sounds of the Arabic language.
What that means is it's associated with Arabic rather than other letters. Okay, so it's not really something, a sound that you find in many other languages, but you do find in Arabic. These aren't so easy because in here they've not really got examples of Ain with a fatha, but they've got the shadda on there. Let's try this one. Remember, it's thin, so this one would be fa'a,
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 would be fa'alun.
fa'alun.
Okay, let's try this one. This one obviously, look, this one obviously will be Hamza Sakin, so we'll get a jerking sound. Okay, but we've got to make sure that we don't make this one a jerking sound. We make the Ain mi'a, mi'a,
Mi'a, mi'a,
mi'a, and this one is mi.
mi,
Good. So it would be asmi'a.
asmi'a.
Yeah, mi'a. Oh, I heard that throaty sound. Excellent. Jazakumullah. Thank you for your help, Adila. Let's have one more volunteer. Again, this is another one that's associated with Arabic. If you've got your hand up, I'm asking you to unmute. If you could unmute. If you don't want to unmute, put your hand down, please. I'm sending you a message.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hi, Islam. Who's that?
Adil Ahmed.
Adil. Right, Adil. Now, tell us how you pronounce qaf.
The letter Qaf is pronounced when the furthermost part of the tongue touches the opposite portion of the hard palate, blocking the passage of the throat.
Okay, what that means, just, you know, when it says furthermost part, the hard palate, I think the hard palate basically is the roof of your mouth, but the back part of the roof of your mouth. Okay, so you're gonna make contact with the back of your tongue, top back. Okay, so can you repeat after me? Shaqqan.
Shaqqa.
Sorry, I'm saying it wrong today. It's a shaqqa. Sorry, shaqqa, shakka.
Shaqqa, shakka.
Thank you for correcting me. And this one now, don't forget here, you've got the ikhfa. We're going to make a gunna. Shaqqa.
Shaqqa.
Okay, now this one will be very obvious actually. Let's try this one. Laqqa, lakka.
Laqqa, lakka.
Yeah, open mouth smiley sound there, because obviously this one is thin, tarqiq, and the qaf is tafkhim, thick, right? Laqqahum.
Laqahum.
Excellent, jazakumullah. Thank you for your help. So that's the qaf, and I think we just move on to Hamza. This is the easiest one because Hamza is basically the same as alif. In fact, most of the time when we see alif written, actually we would call it Hamza if it's got a sign on it, but let's stick to Hamza. Hamza and alif are the same thing. And I need a volunteer quickly. Let's have a look. Who do we have?
Assalamu alaikum.
Hi, Islam. Is that Haris?
Yes.
Okay, Haris. Now let's talk about Hamza. It's similar to what we did last time. We've got to make a difference between the Hamza and the Ain. Okay, so this one would be Nabba'u.
Nabba'u.
This one would be Nabba'u.
Nabba'u.
Yeah, and we'd say Latunabba'u. Sorry, this is a sorry, we don't want to say that, do we? We don't want to say the waw, it's a blank waw, but we do want to do a gunna here. Okay, Latunabba'unna.
Latunabba'unna.
Okay, this one here, let's try this one. Yu'ma.
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 Yu'maruna.
Yu'maruna.
Excellent, very good. I think you get the hang of that. Okay, so Jazakumullah, thank you for your help. So the important thing is, when it is sakin, when Ain is when Hamza is sakin, we have a jerking sound. Okay, and we must make sure that we read it as a Hamza. Okay, when Ain is sakin, we read it as an Ain with a throaty sound. It doesn't have the jerking sound. Okay, yu'ma, yu'ma, yu'ma. Okay. So Hamza is the same as alif, just a regular a or e sound. It's not the same as ayn. So we know that fa is different from sin, ha is different from ha, dhal is different from za, sad is different from sin, dad is different from za, Tha is different from ta. Tha is different from za. Ain is different from hamza alif. Qaf is different from kaf. And hamza is different from ain. Okay, different, slightly different, right? Now, in your reading rooms, you're going to have these definitions again. And then let's see, as you go down to a surah, could you read these letters that are different from but similar to others? Okay, like the sword and the zal and the ayn, etc., and the ha. Okay, come back here after the main after your breakout room to do dua, so we can go into our breakout rooms now.